Hello and welcome. My name is Stephan Poschik, and you are listening to the newest episode of Freedom Entrepreneurship. How can you have it all, and how you don't need to sacrifice your freedom or your financial and business success. Today, I have a wonderful couple, and I'm so excited about the next couple of minutes. And they are going to introduce themselves. But let me tell you up front, they did amazing things, and they are a living example of freedom entrepreneurship. So, hello and welcome, Laura and Jerry. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Dr. Laura Schwalek, and I'm very grateful to be with you. You are just such a breath of fresh air, and I love your energy. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
a little bit about myself. So, I am an immigrant from Canada to the United States. I came to Texas with $300, a bicycle, and some clothing,
And a roll of quarters.
and a roll of quarters. And
Very
and
important.
the quarters are important. It may not seem like it, but when I got off the airplane at Dallas Fort Worth Airport, my first trip here, when I stepped off the plane, I knew that Texas was home. I could feel it. I came to Texas to go to chiropractic college because it was the closest college to the equator at that time.
She needed to thaw out from Canada.
I was done with ice and snow. So,
She's still thawing out, by the
yeah.
way.
So
Just get out of the cold weather. I so much get it. Yes, living in Sardinia, I know exactly what you're talking about.
you do, absolutely. And so I didn't have a place to stay that night. I had never been to Texas. I had never seen the college. I came by myself and I had the directory from the school of people looking for a roommate. So I called every single one of them on the directory and asked, hey, are you still looking for a roommate? And everyone said no. And I got to the very last person and I said, well, can I just stay there tonight? And the guy said, well, where are you? I said, I'm at the airport. He's like, what? I said, yeah, I got, my stuff. I'm at the airport. He's like, okay, we're moving out tomorrow, but you can stay there tonight. I mean, we've
Yeah.
already basically moved out. And so that was my initial journey into entrepreneurship was I left everything, my family, everyone, and I came to the United States, graduated from chiropractic college, started my own practice, went very deep into functional endocrinology, which is all the organs and glands of the body, and had my practice for 20 years and then sold my practice. And Jerry will tell his part of the story, but the same week that I handed the keys over to my practice to the new doctor was the same week that Jerry was in ICU with a very horrible pneumonia, double multifocal pneumonia. And he couldn't run his business. So I took over managing his business in 2017. So I'm going to let him tell his kind of origin story now, and then we'll say a little bit more about freedom in business.
That's
The
wonderful,
amazing,
Laura. Thank you so
the,
much.
am- the amazing Dr. Schwaluk. My name is Jerry Kazaya. I am also an immigrant to Texas from Michigan.
From Detroit.
From Detroit. They were still fighting the Civil War when I got here, or it felt like it. Uh, wow, what a fun story. I got here when I got to Dallas, it was 1980. I had a rusted out old car, a toolbox, as I was an auto tech, and $1,100. I bought a house. I didn't even have a job. It was amazing. Everybody thought I was out of my mind. Why are you buying a house? And I said, because I'm not leaving. I'm throwing down roots, throwing down an anchor, whatever you call it. This is my home. And I went to a bank to try and get a loan. And the banker literally, Stefan, he laughed at me. He says, you can't get a loan. I go, why not? I mean, that isn't this a bank? I'm looking around, right? Isn't this a bank? Isn't that what you do? I mean, what does that mean?
That's your job. That's your service. That's what you are selling. Hey, come on.
Here I am. I'm 22 years old and I didn't understand anything about it. And he said, first of all, you're going to have a business plan. The second thing, you're going to have a lease. The third thing is you're going to have to put up $10,000 in a CD. And I mean, this whole list of things. And oh, by the way, you have to have 2 years on the job locally here before we'll even consider it. So I went, well, that's just terrible. But I went back and I literally got a job and I worked in a dealership for 1 year, 11 months, and 3 weeks. I fulfilled that. I built up the cash. And in the meantime, I started working on cars in my driveway. At one time, I had 6 employees working for me out of my house. We developed relationships. We had 150 repeat clients after only 2 years. And that was my success to get into the business. Was I already had 150 customers that already knew, liked, and trusted me, and they were coming back for more and more service. So that's how I got into the business. My first month in business, we did almost $30,000 in sales,
Wow.
which is unheard of, right? So I knew that we were going to be successful, and we just celebrated 45 years in the business. To give you an example, a typical automotive repair shop in the United States does about 375 to maybe $400,000. We broke $1 million back in '92, and we've turned it into a multi-million-dollar store. 45 years in business. We currently have an LOI. We have a gentleman who's interested in purchasing the business. At one time, Laura and I together, we've owned 8 companies simultaneously, several hundred employees, multi-million-dollar payrolls, and we still, throughout all of that, for 17 years, we averaged 130 days a year of travel. And that's international travel, that's stateside travel. We've been just about every place we wanted to go.
Freedom was very, very important to us, and it still is very important to us. So we had to structure our businesses to be able to provide that.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, it wasn't that way. It was tough getting started, having to be there, being the person working in the business rather than on the business. And when at one point, I don't remember what year was it that you were in somebody T-boned you.
Oh, 92. In 92, I was still working on
Mhm.
cars as a technician and still trying to run the business.
Yeah.
And, God has a way of reaching out to you. If you're not paying attention, he'll hit you with a 2x4 in the back of the head,
Or the front.
or sometimes the front, depending on what
If you
I
don't
think.
recognize the one from the back, you will get it in the front.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Until you get it.
And I had to learn, right? And so I got hit so hard in the side of my vehicle that it knocked a crown off of my tooth.
Wow.
So to give you an idea, I mean, the hood went flying off like a frisbee. Thank God no one was in the intersection. They would have been cut in half, literally. And for 2.5 years, I could not use my hands.
Mhm.
And so I lost all of the feeling from my elbows down to my fingertips. They
Mhm.
were numb, and the neurologists couldn't figure out. They said, this is as good as it's going to get. And I said, no, I don't believe that. But I went from working on the in the business to working on the business. I had to become a better leader. I had to become a real business owner as
Mhm.
opposed to, running it like it was a hobby. And so that was the year we broke $1 million for the first time. My
Yeah.
accident was in February. And so I had all year to hone our skills. And it was like, this is pretty interesting. And I've learned the lesson I learned, the less I work, the more I earn.
And
Yeah.
in addition to that, just to tag along, is our ability to have freedom and our ability to work on the business rather than
Mhm.
in the business is directly related to our ability to delegate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Your ability
It's
to grow is directly related to your ability to delegate. If you cannot delegate, you cannot grow.
and
It's simple.
Yeah.
there are many aspects to leadership that are wrapped up in delegating,
Yeah.
because there are some leaders that people want to follow, and there are some leaders that they will do just enough, that the employees will do just enough to not get fired.
Yeah.
That's
So
wonderful. So you're actually already sharing so many golden nuggets here. I don't even need to ask a question. I don't even need to do anything. So that's so beautiful. But let me tell you first of all, you can be so proud of yourself and congratulations to your incredible story. Because what you just shared, and I know there is so much more behind that, is unbelievable. And one of the first things what I recognized when you started to share your story, I started as an entrepreneur 25 years ago, and I was the first one in my family ever who became an entrepreneur. Everybody was against me, and I still did it. And
Mm.
at some point, I left the country where I was born and raised, Austria, and I live in Italy and in Sardinia now. And I'm also having operations overseas. So when you shared your story, I can relate so much to that because you took very bold actions. You basically left where you started or where you were born and raised, and you just
Mhm.
figured it out and you just found a way, and you also did not give up. So also with the bank story, what you mentioned, Jerry, they are going to tell us entrepreneurs all the time, no, it's not working. That's not possible. Nobody ever did it. No way you're going to accomplish that. You are a living example. You did it, you still did it, and you still accomplished it. Yeah. So
And
that's
in
absolutely
two,
incredible. Yeah.
thank you. In 2008, I had a very, the economy here in the United States really took a hard hit. Housing values dropped, real estate dropped. I've been involved in commercial real estate since '92. I've bought and sold millions of dollars worth of real estate. I still own roughly about $25 million worth of real estate. That's all paid for. There's no mortgages. But in 2009, I got called into the bank by the president of the bank, and I go into his office and I sit down. I go, "What's up? What can I do for you?" He goes, "I think you need to declare." And I said, "Declare? Declare what? What does that even mean?" He
Mm.
said, "You need to declare bankruptcy." And that word was so foreign to me, right? And I said, "Have I missed a payment or something?"
Yeah.
He said, "No." I said, "Have I been late on any payments?" He says, "No." He says, "But we don't know where you're getting the money, and you are upside down." At the time, I was 5 million upside down. I owed $5 million more than if you sold all my real estate and all my business, sold everything.
Yeah.
I would still owe another $5 million. And what I was doing at the time, I was paying $45,000 a month to the bank just for principal and interest. And then
Yeah.
there's property tax on top of it, and utilities, insurance,
Yeah.
payroll,
The
all
full
the stuff
package,
that goes with
everything
it.
what comes with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the lesson for me was you must always know who's giving you advice and why.
Oh,
A
yeah.
few years later, I found out that son of a gun, it
You
might
can
be a
be
G-rated
very,
show.
very transparent and honest here. So throughout whatever you like in my show, everything is allowed here.
Oh, thank you. Well, that son of a bitch had someone lined up to buy my real estate. He would have made $250,000 commission.
What an
Had
asshole.
I listened to him, first of all, I would have lost everything I worked my life for, and he would have earned $250,000.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said, I didn't know that at the time, but I found it out later. And I want you to be really clear. This guy was in my Rotary Club. Rotary, the four-way test. First, is
Yeah.
it the truth? Second,
Yeah.
is it fair to all concerned, right? Third, he blew all four tests of the four-way
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was just a crazy experience. So for your listeners, always know who's giving you advice and what do they gain from giving you that
Yeah.
advice. Because this is a
Absolutely.
huge, huge milestone. You must know this.
Yeah. I agree 100%. And I needed to learn it also the hard way, figure out or basically do your due diligence. Listen to people who already did what you want to accomplish, and don't listen to all these fake prophets out there who are just faking with AI pictures, their pictures with the Rolls Royce and the real estate and the private jets and all of that. Yeah, I mean, social media is great to fake a life that you never achieved and you never did, and to fake results what you never had. So just figure out if the people you are listening to are real. And that's what I really love so much about you, because you are a living example. So let me ask you the most important question for me personally always. What does
Yes,
freedom mean
yes.
for you?
What does freedom
What
mean
does
to you?
freedom mean for me?
Yes.
That's a brilliant question. You want to go first?
Well, I would like to answer that question, but first, I'd like to just follow up with something that we were just talking about
Yeah.
regarding people, following people who have actually done what you're trying to do. Yesterday on our mastermind call, one of our members asked Jerry, because he's feeling really down in the dumps right now. His business really did not do well last month.
Mm.
He's out of money. He thinks he's out of money. And he asked Jerry, what did you do? How long, what was the time frame that it took you to get yourself out of that debt? And Jerry shared with him, you know what? It was a period of about 15 years that he had that heavy debt on him
Yeah.
until he was able to pay it all off. And our member, his name is Gary, he said, thank you so much for putting that into perspective. I'm so glad that you shared with me what you went through, because it makes what I'm going through look like really small potatoes. He said, he said, I have the courage, the strength to continue on the road. If you can do it, I can do it.
Amen.
And all the other men on the call, they're like, yeah, I needed to hear this, because
Yeah.
several of them, their December wasn't very good. And so to hear that they were with somebody who had been there and had been on that path and able to make it through, gave them the strength, the courage, and the confidence to continue on their path too.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Now,
Yeah. That's beautiful.
thank you. And now our definition, if you will, of
Yeah.
freedom is having enough passive income from your business, from your investments, from your whatever. Now, know that passive is never really truly passive. You do still have to pay attention to it,
Yes,
right?
Pay
you should.
attention.
You have to inspect what you expect, or like little children, they'll go do things that you don't
Yeah.
expect them to do. Um, but having enough passive income to pay for your desired lifestyle so that you work because you choose to, not because you have to. And if you want to go to a different country for a month and have your businesses take care of themselves and be even better when you get
Yeah.
back, not just still be in business, but to be even better because your employees are empowered to make choices and to make improvements. That's freedom. That's when business is fun. That's when you're empowering people. You're
You've delegated all the major tasks,
and
and you get to set the direction of the business.
hire. So Jerry has, say it for me about hiring. You hire good
You
people.
hire good people, you pay them what they're worth, you let them do their job, stay the hell out of their way, and check in frequently.
Check in.
I
Check
love
in
that. I
means
love that. I love
check in
that.
means inspect what you expect. And there
Absolutely.
are certain key performance indicators where you'll know if the business is going off the rails.
Yeah,
So for
absolutely.
an example, here's like right now. Right now, we own three brick and mortar companies.
Mhm.
I don't even know how many employees. We do millions of dollars. Uh, we work Monday in the brick and mortar store. Tuesday is coaching, and the rest of the time we're here at the ranch. Um,
Which is where we are right now.
which is where we are. We have a 160-acre ranch in the middle of nowhere, Texas,
Yeah.
and it's just an amazing place for us to recalibrate. One of the most important things an entrepreneur needs to do is take time to think.
Mm.
You must take think time seriously because it is game changing when you can pull yourself out of the vortex of your business, pull yourself out of that,
Of the day-to-day
of
Yeah.
all the day-to-day crap that
doing.
happens,
Yeah.
and pull yourself and get away so that you can recalibrate and literally say what's working, what isn't working. And
Yeah.
one thing I would like to ask all of your listeners that own businesses, if you were to buy your business today, who would you fire first? And why do they still work for you?
That's an amazing question. That's an amazing question. Yeah.
Because
And now we are talking about the real hard questions, what business owners need to ask themselves and figure out when they really want to have the freedom, when they really want to work on their business. So I do this frequently. So I love to go mountain biking. I'm on my mountain bike at least 3 days a week. And that's one of
Mhm.
the biggest thinking times. And I do a lot of journaling where I really work on myself, on my business, where I write all the things down that basically cleared in my mind or the solutions I figured out when I was biking. Yeah. So I totally understand. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, we've
Look,
journaled
yeah,
every day for decades. I don't
yeah,
even remember how many years ago we started that, but it's been a habit.
yeah,
It's just so I write, the first things I write are, what are the successes from the day before?
yeah,
I write at least three things that I'm grateful for.
yeah,
And then I write, good morning, God. Thank you for this glorious day that I get to be a part of. And how can my life be even better?
yeah,
Those are like mandatory. Those are questions that I ask myself. Thank you, God. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for
yeah,
allowing me to be here. How does my life get even better?
yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah.
And we also do
Perfect morning
something.
routine.
Yeah, we also do something. Being in nature
Mhm.
is super helpful for clearing the mind and just getting centered.
Yeah.
And then we also we you are on your mountain bike, but we call it tractor time because we have this 160 acres. So there are times when we have to mow, or
Mhm.
sometimes because we do hay production, we have to be out in the tractors cutting, raking, baling hay,
Yeah.
and making mostly right-hand turns with our tractor. In fact, one of our members made a song. You can find it on Spotify, I think,
Oh, that's
or
good.
Apple, whatever. Yeah. One of our episodes is a song called Thinking Time.
Yeah.
And it's about how you have to clear your head of all the stuff
Yeah.
so that you can grow your business and create the life that you want.
Yeah. No, I
And
love
there,
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, Another question I always ask, especially couples. So, how do you handle the business side and the private side and still love yourself, love each other, and be so successful?
Love each other? What is
That's
that? What is
that,
that?
that's that's a really good question. We actually get asked this question a lot
They're like,
because
how in the hell do you guys spend 24 hours a day together and still like each other, much less love each other? Well,
Yes.
that's it,
and work
That's the
on the
killer
business
question.
together.
That's
Yeah.
that's what all the people want, but very, very few ever achieve in their life.
mutual respect.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect.
And I'll give you an example. When I had my practice, I started that practice. It was my baby, if you will. And when Jerry came in and saw something that was not quite right, he didn't come in and bark orders and say, oh, that employee, this employee. He would talk with me and ask me, what do you think, Laura? This is what I'm seeing. Tell me what you see. Help me understand why you're doing it that way. And can we come up with a better way? He knew that I was the head of that business. He gave me the respect to make the decisions. Now, when I was managing his business, I was perfectly clear and still am that it's his business. He has final say. I can bring things to his attention and say the same things. Jerry, this is what I'm seeing. How do you want me to handle this? What would you like me to do? Is there a way that I can say this? Because being a female, not knowing anything about the auto repair industry, a lot of the guys didn't respect me at all. They're like, oh, that's just the boss's wife. What does she
Mm.
know? And so
She's just a little look pretty. That's all it is.
I don't know if that's what they thought, or they thought maybe I was just a bitch. But because I held them to a standard that I was
Yeah.
used to.
You hold them accountable. Yeah.
I held
You
them
Absolutely.
had
accountable.
leadership in place.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
and some of them that didn't step up to the plate, I fired.
Yeah.
And some of them stood up to the plate after that. Not in a like there are times when I'm sure I came across as a bitch. And there I just had to make it clear that, you know what, we are not going to tolerate this country club behavior.
Mm.
We're going to work. That's what we're here for. And there were still times when, because I did not know the business, I went to Jerry and said, hey, listen, I think I need you to have this conversation.
Mhm.
And I would look to him, not because I didn't trust myself, but because I respected that it was Jerry's business. He's had it for now 45 years. And in this way, as a couple, and then also he has his office, I have my office in the same building, but we had to give each other space. You
Mm.
must be able to do this. Jerry talks to himself a lot. And when we were in the same office, I'm like, are you talking to me? I'm trying to concentrate. Are you talking to me, or like, should I tune you out? And then when I would talk to him, he thought I was talking to myself and I was talking to him. And so we made specific time to talk to each other. This
Yeah.
is just like you would with any other employee manager, especially the top tier people. You
Yeah.
meet every week, you have a meeting. How's it going? What's happening? And then so we would at business be business. And then at home, it's such a partnership.
Mm.
We both cook, we both do the dishes, we laugh, we talk, we play. If you've ever seen videos of river otters
Yeah.
just playing, they'll jump in the water, jump back out of the water,
Just
jump
having a
in the
great
water,
time,
and
enjoying
they
themselves and
love
their
on each other.
company.
And yeah, and that's at home. It's like, what do you want to do today? Oh, let's do that today. Oh,
Oh, that's amazing.
and it's a partnership.
Yeah, like we cook together every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
He
literally.
he cooks the meat. I get the vegetables ready. Otherwise, we would not have vegetables.
Nice.
I've been on
So
carnivore. I've been on
chicken as
carnivore since.
vegetable or some deer as vegetable and things like that, right? So just the
I'm
good
the prep
stuff.
chef. Yeah.
Wine is fruit, isn't it? I don't know.
Absolutely, that's enough vegetable. I totally agree. I love red wine. So in Sardinia, we have unbelievable red wines here.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
love it.
No,
Yes. So that's
I love this a lot. Yeah. The reason I always ask these questions is most people we work with, they really want to have it all, but they have no idea where to start. And especially they are so not aligned with their significant others, and business is getting in their way or their private life is getting in their way. And then at the end of the day, it's just a mess all over the place. And I have the privilege to also be and work with my significant other since 9 years already. And it's hard work, but it's worth
Yeah,
it. And that's one
yeah,
of the most beautiful things what I can imagine. I don't want to have it any way different
right.
because we just spent 3 weeks in the US and we were traveling together and we were going to all the events together. She's also running her own business. So she is also a business owner, but she also has the role as CMO in my company group. And it's just amazing because we are really growing and living together and working on our future together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't want to have it any differently.
And that is where everyone should start first. Choosing the right spouse
yeah.
makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And
True.
I'm going to say being the right spouse. So
Yeah.
let me just back that up for a moment. Jerry and I both came from very traumatic childhoods. His was more on the abuse side, mine was
Physical.
physical, and mine was more on the neglect side. We had to heal ourselves.
Mm.
We've worked so much on ourselves. We can't change someone else.
Yeah.
but we can change ourselves and we can listen to the other person. In 2019, do you want to share your PTSD experience?
So it was February of 2018. I was in a business meeting and there was about 50 people in the room, and this guy stands up and he starts talking about MDMA
Hmm.
for PTSD.
I didn't know what that was. I didn't
Hmm.
even know.
And the first reaction I had was, who is this asshole talking about drugs in the middle of a business meeting?
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong? I mean, why are they letting this guy talk? At the time, I didn't even smoke marijuana. I never did anything. Like I was completely as straight-laced as you can imagine.
It was illegal and we were not doing it.
I had too much to lose.
Yeah.
At the time, I was a planning and zoning commissioner for the city.
Yeah.
If I had done anything, they would have made me front page news, man. They would have made an example out of me. So I never did anything. And so for some reason, this guy kept talking. They let him keep talking. And you know, when we talked earlier about God with a two by four,
Yep.
I didn't get a two by four, but what I did get was tunnel vision and tunnel hearing.
Mm.
The whole world went black except for that man. And he was standing up, and that was the only thing I heard or saw. And he talked for, I don't know, it could have been 20 minutes, it could have been 30 minutes. I don't know.
And he talked about MDMA therapy for PTSD,
And
for trauma, for abuse, and for helping us. Because if we are not our best, then our company can't be our best. Our partnership can't be our best. And so it took Jerry about 18 months
yeah,
of
I researched for a
research.
year and a half. I got his phone number. I turned out, I was talking to him. He was gracious to spend 3 hours with me over several phone calls. Turned out he was happened to be the number eighth most influential person in the psychedelic world.
Wow.
Okay. And so
Yeah.
we had a great conversation, several. I spent 18 months of my life learning everything I could about MDMA for
Mhm.
PTSD. And then I found a doctor, an MD, that would actually sit with me
Mhm.
during my session because remember, I was 5 days in the ICU at the end of 2017,
Mhm.
and I left that hospital. I was in stage 2 of heart failure, and I lost 50% of the use of my lungs because the pneumonia had scarred the inside of my lungs.
Yeah.
And I'd never done anything at all, so I didn't know what to expect. And I knew I was in bad shape physically, so I wanted to have a medical doctor there to bring me back to life in case something
Yeah.
went wrong.
Yeah.
Again, I had no concept, had no experience, had no anything. I had my first experience was August 22nd, 2019, and it changed my life. The change in me was so profound
Yeah.
that Laura had the same experience
I was
seven
like,
days later.
wow, you are
Yeah.
so different. You're such a different man. He was so much easier to be with. It was like
Yeah.
this mantle of anger that he
Mhm.
was carrying around. It's like the more successful he became, the angrier he became.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the more stressed and the more anxiety. And
Mhm.
that kind of melted away. And I thought, wow, it's done that for him. I need this too.
Oh yeah.
So, and we've also come to learn that there are many different ways that don't even include doing any kind of psychedelic that will help someone.
Yeah.
There are lots of different modalities that can be as effective, but that with one treatment can cure PTSD, and it
Yeah.
has.
And we've all heard that hurt people hurt people.
Mm.
We add a spin to it now. We say healed people heal
Heal
people.
people.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful one. No, thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing that. And same here. I think I, at least for my side, I never met a really successful person in business or also in private life that did not need to really work very hard on themselves and really become a much, much better or much more elevated person or version of themselves. Because we all get a backpack with us. Some of them get a bigger one, maybe because we can carry bigger ones. I don't know. And we just need to figure out how we can deal with that. And in a lot of situations, really at some point get to the root cause and get over it, or basically solve it. that we can really be and live our best version for ourselves. Yeah. So I could go on and on and on and on. I actually don't want to stop, but I know that your time is super valuable, and I really want to stick with our 30 minutes that I mentioned when we started. So again, I would love to continue on and on and on and on, because everything what you shared, I relate so much, and I know already that our listeners can learn so much from you. But still, I want to wrap this up with my last question. And I always call this rapid fire success tips. So just very, very short from both of you, please. What are the three most important things, or where people should start when they want to stop working in the business and start working on the business to really have the freedom in the future?
Well, I'm just going to throw it out there as best I can. Go back to my steps. Hire
Yeah.
good people, pay them what they're worth, let them do their job, stay the hell out of their way, check in frequently.
Check in,
You must
inspect what you expect.
learn to delegate, and you must have good people. You
Yeah.
must have good people. I cannot stress that enough. So there's two things that we preach to everyone. Always be marketing and always be hiring. Always be marketing, always be hiring.
Yeah.
Always be hiring. Always, always, always be hiring. Dan Kennedy said many years ago, eventually even your best racehorse goes lame. You must have people lined up to fill any gaps or any holes that you have in your personnel at the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
You must hire at
Have
you
people waiting.
have people waiting. You've got
Yeah.
to
Good people waiting.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid to fire someone. Do not, in most cases, hire friends or family.
never, never.
Unless they are your true partner.
Yeah.
And let's see, another, honestly, is let go of the guilt of not being at your business. You have to get away from your business so that when you come into your business, you see it with fresh eyes every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel guilty that they're not there and that they are doing something like having fun with their family while their employees are working. You must give yourself that freedom, and then just simply have the confidence to do it. Other people have done it, and you can do it too.
That's wonderful.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Laura, Jerry, thank you so much. I appreciate you. It was a wonderful conversation, and I'm really looking forward to continue our conversation afterwards. Any last words? Any last things you want to share with us?
In addition to thanking you for hosting us, we really appreciate it. I think the main thing is listen to the people around you for where they are coming from, but listen to your inner voice when it comes to your success. You know you can do this. You started it. Keep in mind why you started it and keep that as your North Star, because there will be roller coasters in your business. Keep your eye on the long-term goal. Always keep your eye there, and don't let your emotions or the negative self-talk derail you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank
To
you.
all your listeners out there, thank you so much. And just never give up. Go for your freedom entrepreneurship and just implement what you just heard from the two on our show, and have a wonderful and successful time. Thank you.
Thank you.